Champions TEW 2016, The Branding Solution, episode 119, and we are here with the first show of 2017. As we know, last episode we got to see a bit of the awards. None of my guys really won the big awards. We saw Bailey and Sasha win Young Performer and Women's Wrestler of the Year, but otherwise we had very little impact on those award proceedings. So we're going to continue plugging away at this to see who or what we can make the next big stars within this game. And we have our Raw show, so we have some pre-show action, and Raw will be building up to the Royal Rumble as their next pay-per-view, but we're also mixing in a few matches set up for Fully Loaded, which will be their last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, which is the big thing to take note of. So we have our pre-show is Jack Gallagher and the Uprising defeat my trio of NXT boys. A nice little heel team. They all solid enough in the ring, get their 50s and 40s, nothing fancy. We move on to the former champion, Kofi Kingston, beating Marty Scurll in a nice solid enough match. A C+, will keep him moving up. The Shining Stars get a nice win. They've sort of faded away, if you want. The Stars are fading. They were my tag champions for the start of most of this game, as my long-term New Day plans were put into place very early on in the April start of this game. So they were tag champions from about May till, I want to say, August time, maybe later. So I just wanted to build them up before I gave the titles to the face team I wanted to have the belts. So it's about time we rebuild them again. Roderick Strong picks up a win over Barry Griffiths, but they don't click. Never mind. It's only pre-show. That's the point of these pre-shows. Experimenting. Kurt Angle and System X defeat Alex Wolf and Crime Time. If I had gone 2-on-2 for System X to pick up the win, Crime Time would have complained like mad. So you stick them with Kurt Angle, you get a rub off the superstar himself, and then nobody will complain. So it works. The two that I will probably be releasing next are the two that did the worst, which is slightly disappointing. Samoa Joe beats my new trademark favourite NXT talent, Biff Busick, who's continuing to improve. Just got to find a role on one of the two shows for him. Cody Hall and Rhino lose to American Alpha. Yeah, that's what I needed to do. And then Bad News Barrett defeats Noam Dar on his debut for me after his injury, and they didn't click either, which is slightly disappointing, but it's not important. He's got to go through a bit of NXT work before getting a real chance. So we head into our main show now. Our main show starts off with Triple H introducing his two champions in Seth Rollins and Big E, and also hyping up that Roman Reigns will be facing Daniel Bryan to see who will face Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble, while The Miz, Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho will be having a triple threat to see who faces Big E. So that's pretty much hyping up the show. Triple H getting some rub on his champions because they are, of course, brilliant and does everything we need it to do to start the show with good heat. And Triple H's new tag team as such, the Hands of Death, defeat the Ring Kings. Nice, easy, quick win there. Hyping them up before their tag team match against these two. Their tag team title match, I am going to actually pencil in for the Royal Rumble. I think that is fair. It also means I don't have to worry about putting Kaz or Enzo or probably Rampage Brown in the Rumble match. So, yeah, I still have to make my final decision on whether I'm going to go with one 40-man Rumble with 20 off Raw and 20 off Shockwave, or a Rumble per show, so they have 20 off each. Two 20-man Royal Rumbles, and then a 20-woman Royal Rumble. And now it sounds like there's going to be a lot of people being used, but we may put a little twist on the women's one to be just a flat-out Battle Royal. But we'll see nearer the time. Baron Corbin gets a nice little squash win over Rocky Romero, because he is going into his triple threat match for the Intercontinental. And bad news. Bad news comes out to join Baron Corbin, beating down Rocky Romero, but Sami Zayn comes down and chases them and fights them both off. He knows he's got to face both of them. He doesn't want them both on the same page yet. And Triple H is furious at Sami Zayn's involvement, and he sees Barrett and Baron making their way back to the top of the ramp. And he comes out and tells Sami, "I got 2 matches for you, son. First, next week you will be facing these two in a handicap match, and also you will be defending that Intercontinental title next." And he defends his Intercontinental title against Kevin Owens. I did let Sami Zayn retain because Finn Balor once again interfered in the match, distracting Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn continues to have Kevin Owens' number. And 80 is a good match rating. You see Kevin Owens is up to 93 performance-wise with Zayn on the 89s. So we know if we can book the matches correctly, we're going to have some barnstormers for both of these two men in the future. Bray Wyatt then continues to cut a promo in the name of Sami Zayn, where he warns Owens, that Finn Balor will be coming for him. He will be taking that title, and then he will be stopping him winning the Royal Rumble, and then he will be taking him out of any matches in the future and leaves. I don't want to have Finn Balor do the promos. I want Bray to be his microphone. And 74 is good. Not good for the storyline, but good for what we were trying to get to. We continue on with our show with Jay Lethal picking up a win over Jinder Mahal. I made this nice quick little squash match just to bring the crowd down a little bit after the last match. And Kofi Kingston cuts a promo announcing that he will be in the Royal Rumble. He wants to have that chance to reclaim that title. The Big E, pretty much what he feels stole from him. So that's the first official announcement for the Royal Rumble. We have another little tag team match. This was just to continue both of these storylines. I didn't have a big plan. They're not really proper storylines. The future I see is just the guys not quite in a title picture. And the TV title, we have yet to make our final decision on who will be getting the match. As we see, Carlito made Neville submit, which is quite good because Carlito has been calling Neville out the last few weeks. That's built that one up nicely. Then we have Triple H cutting a promo announcing that Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, along with Dean Ambrose, will also be in the Royal Rumble match. So you know what it's like when we get to Royal Rumble season, everyone just throws their name into the hat. Never mind. Didn't quite work, this idea, but Dolph Ziggler defeats Jericho and The Miz. Dolph Ziggler will be facing Big E at the Royal Rumble. He was the highlight of the match, really. Didn't do the best build-up, really, and after the match, Jericho just attacks The Miz because he blames him for not getting that title match. So that one works quite well. The chances are they're both going to end up in the Rumble. And potentially, I don't know if it's a turn Jericho face or not. We then have a tag team title match. And we have Certified G's issue an open challenge and hashtag DIY accept. A simple win, really, for Certified G's. And we have Seth Rollins talking to Dean Ambrose backstage, saying, well, once you win the Rumble, maybe you could take the Shockwave title and we can dominate the whole company's main event picture. So it's sort of teasing that Dean Ambrose could jump brands. But if he was to win the Rumble, there was always a backup plan that he could help win the titles back at Mania. You got all sorts set up with that one. And our main event, which didn't go very well. I was expecting a lot better. I shouldn't have gone for All Out or Steal the Show. But it gets the words exceptional match and gets a 73. It's probably the best description of a match, but never mind. It's because it was two faces. Daniel Bryan defeats Roman Reigns. Let's see, it's the odd. Never mind. We go to the next segment where Seth Rollins is applauding Daniel on his win, warning that, well, it looks like me and you are going to have to tear up the show again, as these two did have match of the year last year, and Dean Ambrose jumps him from behind, and they have a 2-on-1 beatdown. Daniel Bryan, I was looking to potentially turn Roman, but he kicked off because he'll lose money on merchandise. So that won't be happening. Roman's, whether we like him or not in real life, he's too popular to upset on this game and have not wanted to give it his all, because I think he's rated in the top 5 most popular for my show, my company. So I can't get rid of him that easily. And a 76, it's a pretty poor show, really. It is pretty terrible. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn steal the show yet again. So we'll head back to the main screen and we'll look at what else is happening. And we are back with the news page. As you can see, Randy Orton is now fully fit, which was a bit of a bugger because he just missed out on the TLC pay-per-view by 2 days. He has strange form on the radio. He did his first match in his new promotion. But never mind. That was a long time ago. We have the usual suspects. Nothing important to read there. As I said about the most popular, as you can see once this does load up, Roman Reigns is actually number 2 on worldwide popularity on here. So, kind of had to be done that way. As you can see down through the lists, it's some interesting names worldwide. If you were to just do US, you get a few more twists and turns because Rusev is number 7 on this list. More popular than Punk, Hunter, Ambrose, The Rock. It's ridiculous. There's Alexa Bliss above my current champion. Obviously he wasn't main event on a maiden champ, but he's moving up slowly, and so on and so forth. I'll go through them all, there's a lot to go through. and we look at our storylines for this is probably the weakest it's been in a long time. The Intercontinental, yeah, that's set up nicely. Just the random tag teams. Tag team titles is got good-ish heat for my liking, and so does this. A lot better than normal. This one is where you would like it to be for the start of this match. And the World Heavyweight went down with it. The Miz and Jericho's attack helped move it back. Otherwise, we'll creatively Samoa Joe on Raw. Nobody on Raw on that. If we were to go into company a minute, it's a bit disappointing, but my top 100 matches, it was Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, 2 out of 3 falls, was my best match with an 88 rating. And we basically get 82s a lot. And I don't know whether that Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Sasha and Bayley was the second best we've ever had, or what. But if you see through this list, there are some notable names on there. Disappointing that we actually lost Sheamus, so he's not really on there. But John Cena, Brock Lesnar, TLC is on there, which was great to end that match show. If you were to look at my events, there are a few really good Raws and SmackDowns, which is nice to see, but nothing over the top on there. But that will do for this episode. We will be back next time with SmackDown. Thank you for watching.